The world watched in shock as Mike Jeffries, the once lauded CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, was escorted by federal agents. The sunny facade of Palm Beach, Florida, provided a stark contrast to the gravity of the charges: sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. Jeffries, along with his close associate Matthew Smith, now faced accusations that cut to the core of his carefully curated image. The investigation, spanning nearly a decade, alleged that Jeffries was at the helm of a sophisticated operation that preyed on young men seeking a break in the modeling industry. The arrest sent shockwaves through the fashion world and beyond. Jeffries, known for his ruthless business tactics and obsession with youth, was now accused of exploiting the very demographic he built his empire upon. The allegations painted a disturbing picture of power abused and innocence stolen. The case quickly became a stark reminder of the hidden underbelly of glamour and the vulnerability of those seeking fame. The federal indictment laid bare a calculated pattern of abuse. Jeffries and Smith, according to prosecutors, targeted young men, some barely out of their teens, with the allure of modeling contracts. These aspiring models, often from vulnerable backgrounds, were lured into a world of luxury and false promises. They were flown to private parties, showered with expensive gifts, and made to feel special. However, this facade of glamour quickly crumbled. The indictment alleged that Jeffries and his cohorts used these opportunities to pressure the young men into sexual acts. Refusal was met with threats. Careers were on the line, they were told. The indictment detailed a system of coercion and manipulation designed to trap these young men in a cycle of abuse. It revealed a calculated cruelty that belied the image Jeffries had so carefully cultivated. The investigation revealed a network of individuals allegedly complicit in Jeffries' crimes. Matthew Smith, Jeffries' right-hand man, emerged as a key figure. Smith, according to the indictment, played an active role in recruiting victims, often using his charm and connections to gain their trust. He acted as the conduit, funneling vulnerable young men into Jeffries' orbit. Another alleged conspirator, James Jacobson, was apprehended in Wisconsin. Jacobson, a purported modeling scout, allegedly used his industry connections to identify potential victims. He preyed on their aspirations, dangling the promise of fame and fortune in exchange for their compliance. The indictment painted a picture of a predatory network, each individual playing a distinct role in perpetuating the cycle of abuse. Section 4. Trapped in a nightmare. Methods of coercion and control. The victims, many of whom are only now finding their voice, describe a climate of fear and intimidation. They were often flown to remote locations, isolated from their support systems. Their movements were monitored, their communication restricted. Jeffries and his associates, they allege, used a combination of threats and manipulation to maintain control. Passports were confiscated. Non-disclosure agreements were used to silence them. Financial dependence was weaponized. The young men, often thousands of miles from home, felt trapped and alone. The indictment further alleged that Jeffries and Smith employed a private security firm using intimidation tactics to silence anyone who dared speak out. Section 5. Justice in Progress. Legal proceedings and the ongoing investigation. Jeffries and Smith, released on a $10 million bond each, now await trial, their movements restricted by GPS monitoring. The legal proceedings have only just begun, but the potential consequences are immense. If convicted, they face the prospect of spending decades behind bars. The investigation, however, is far from over. Authorities believe there are more victims, their stories yet untold. Prosecutors, urging anyone with information to come forward, have pledged to protect the identities of those who do. The case serves as a stark reminder that power and wealth are no shield from accountability. Section 6. A reckoning for the fashion industry, broader implications, and the fight against trafficking. The allegations against Jeffries have cast a long shadow over the fashion industry, forcing a reckoning with its own complicity in exploitation. The case has ignited a conversation about the power dynamics that often leave young models vulnerable to abuse. It has underscored the urgent need for greater transparency, stricter regulations, and a culture of accountability within the industry. The case has also brought renewed attention to the insidious nature of sex trafficking, a crime that often thrives in the shadows. It is a stark reminder that trafficking can occur in any industry, at any level of society. The courage of the victims who have come forward serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that silence only empowers abusers. Their stories underscore the importance of supporting organizations dedicated to combating trafficking and providing resources for survivors.